Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, November 22nd, 2019. We are now in the final day of the trading week and also in the final hour of the trading day. So I mention this each day, but in my opinion, the prices at the end of the day, as close as you can get them to the close of the day, are the most valid prices to make your buying decisions, your buying and selling decisions from. The reason that I say that is during the regular day, the regular market day, you have a lot of algorithms, you have a lot of day traders battling it out. I consider it a lot of noise. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, the market makers come in, they come in with size, and in my opinion, they move the prices to the most valid prices of the day. And that is why I make the majority of my buying and selling decisions based upon the closing price, or as I mentioned before, as close as I can get to the close. So I'm primarily an end-of-day trader. I think if you get involved during the day, I think you're not taking valid signals as you are at the end of the day. Plus, you don't have to sit in front of your computer all day. You can go out, do things, right? And another hazard of sitting in front of your computer all day during the day is it tends to make you want to make a trade, right? Make an impulsive trade. One of the market wizards in the Market Wizards series did not have a computer on his desk. He said, I just look at it like having a slot machine in front of me. If you have a slot machine in front of you all day long, you're most likely to pull that handle, right? Make a little gamble. So I try to stay away from my computer until the end of the day for that very reason. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well today. We are having a nice day in the market. Dow Jones is up about 107 points. It's up about 0.39%. NASDAQ is up 6 points, so it is lagging today. It's only up 0.07%. And the S&P is up about 5.6 points, about 0.18%. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming by today. I appreciate you spending your time here with this channel. There's a lot of other things you could be doing than coming and sitting here for an hour, hour and a half. But I really hope that it's helping you. I hope that it's paying a dividend or some kind of return on your time investment, and that you're learning some good trading principles. So, all right. So Evan is here. Hi, Evan. Good to see you, sir. Nice to have you here. Thank you very much. Jackson said, or sleep. That's right. Because of the time change. If Jackson can wait till the end of the day, he gets to sleep because that's his morning. So good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming. Marco, hey, how you doing, Marco? Nice to see you as always. Anything I can do for you today or any questions, Marco, you just please let me know, okay? Steve Burns, hey, bud. How you doing? Good to see you, sir. Steve says, I can't imagine sitting in front of a screen for 8 hours a day. Then I would be risking my time along with my capital. People have to count their time cost in day trading. Boy, isn't that the truth, Steve? Right? Look what he said. People have to count their costs. There's always a cost in time, and just sitting in front of that computer. You'd be better out jet skiing or hiking or just walking around, right? And thinking about maybe your trades at the end of the day. But sitting in front of the computer all day, I guarantee you're going to make trades just from an impulsive standpoint. But nice to see you, Steve. Pleasure to have you here. It's an honor to have you here. I'm always excited, and I know everyone else is, to be in the chat with Steve. So thank you always for coming, and thank you so much for including me on your traders to follow on Twitter. I really appreciate that. I always do. Marco says, or better said, good night here in Slovenia. Yeah, so it's evening time in Slovenia, right? Marco says, Steve, great. Yep, he is. And Jackson says, spot on, Steve. That's right. So, all right. Well, we are having a nice day today. I'm always appreciative of that. The plan for today, first of all, we're going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about my current positions. We're going to go through each of my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, what methodology, what strategy I used to buy them, what my thinking in the trade was, and then of course how we're going to manage those trades going forward, either to the upside or to the downside. Then we're going to come back. We're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. Trader psychology is very important to me, and it should be very important to you. And basically, trader psychology breaks down to having the skill and discipline to follow your plan. It's very easy to make a plan before the market opens or before you get into a position, but I'm sure, as many of you know, as soon as you get in the position, there's that little devil on your shoulder that wants to adjust your plan, right? And listen, if you've made a plan, why not follow it, right? But things start going against you, things start going up, those emotions take over. So, it's important in trading to have a good base, understanding technicals, but in my opinion, the most important skill you can develop is the ability to follow your plan, right? It comes down to trader psychology, it comes down to discipline, and if you find yourself breaking your plan and letting the emotions getting the best of you, then that's something you need to work on, right? Just like you need to work on your charting or your analysis to improve. Think about how you can improve to follow your plan, right? And become more disciplined, because it is a skill. So if you find yourself wavering, you need to think to yourself, I need to work, I need to develop this skill more. And that might be just getting away from the computer, right? Because if you're not in front of the computer, you just can't make the trade, right? I guess you could have your phone, but find little workarounds, loopholes to keep you away from the computer or to keep you away from making impulsive decisions or breaking your plan, whether that's telling your husband and your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your brother or sister about it. That could be something, because then you're accountable to them. I don't know, just getting away from your computer, but you have to work on it, because that's how you're going to be a successful trader, is following your plan if you have a well thought out plan. So we're going to talk a few minutes about trader psychology, then we're going to come back, we're going to take a look at all my current positions, we're going to talk about we're going to go through my watch list one by one. We're going to take a look at resistance levels, support levels. We're going to look at indicators like MACD, RSI, moving averages, ATR channels or Keltner channels. And my philosophy of trading, how I look at technicals, I look at technicals as groups of buyers. And if you want a stock to go up, you want to be in the company of other buyers, right? Makes sense. So I like to look for a confluence of indicators lining up, because if one indicator indicates one group of buyers, then two indicators, three indicators, in my opinion, represent two or three groups of buyers. And the more buyers, the better. The more buyers you have, the more likely you have a chance for a profitable trade. So I like to look for a confluence of signals lining up at the same time. And that is step one. Step one is looking for a confluence of indicators, or looking for a confluence of buyers, maybe is another way to say it. And then step two, we have to analyze the risk to reward of that trade. We have to say, okay, we have a nice setup, we have a nice confluence, we have a trigger, we have a reason to enter this, but based upon the technical, the support and resistance that you're using, you also have to look at the risk versus reward. There's times where you can have nice setups with nice confluence of buyers, but maybe it's too high in your channel, depending on how, or the RSI is too high, or you have major resistance above you. So step one, look for a confluence of signals, or look for a confluence of buyers. Step two, analyze the risk to reward. Do you have more reward to the upside vis-a-vis resistance to the upside compared to what the distance is for your risk to the downside, the support to the downside? And you really should have a minimum of 2 to 1, 2 times the possible reward based on your technicals compared to 1 time your risk based on your support. So we're going to go through, we're going to look for all that, analyze that, At the end of the day, if I can find a good setup that makes sense and has a good risk to reward ratio, I will go ahead and place a trade. And then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions whatsoever, please let me know. I'm happy to clarify. If you have any questions about, other areas of trading that you might need help with, please let me know. And then if you have any stock symbols, anything that you think looks interesting or you'd like my opinion on, please type it in the chat and I'll be happy to take a look at it and give you my humble opinion. And then also, if you feel like there's some setup today or a symbol that looks interesting today that might be helpful for the group to look at before the close of the day, please put it in the comment section, in the chat section. Maybe put an asterisk by it, something like that, so I know that it's time sensitive, and I'll be happy to take a look at that. So that is the plan for today. So if you could be so kind and hang on for about 40 seconds, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All righty. Christopher is here. Nice to see you, Christopher Hitchin. Too much market noise during the day. Mr. Trump, for one, sometimes he loves China, sometimes he does not. Yeah, I totally agree, Chris. There is just a lot of market noise. There's a lot of spin. I really, when you look at the end of the day, you have the big boys coming out. They're really not affected by spin and news, right, in my opinion, and they come in. So you get a break during the day. And you make your decisions based upon probably the most valid prices of the day, and that's why I do this. Hey Kurt, good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming. Kurt says, hey Greg, can you back test or take a look at CMG? It did a 520 crossover slightly above the 50 RSI. Yes, I will. And Kurt, ETF replay, as you know, does not allow you to backtest every single symbol. So I'm going to put it in here and we're going to take a look and see if it allows us. Yeah, see, even if I put 520 in, see, it doesn't allow me to backtest for this stock. So apologize, bud. But we can take a look, at the very least, we can take a look at the chart. Oh yeah, Chipotle. Yeah, it's hard to say without looking at that back test, isn't it? MACD's positive. We're above 50. We do have a crossover. Yeah, honestly, unless I could backtest it, me personally, I probably wouldn't take it because I don't know if it's a good backtest, to be honest with you. Sorry, Kurt. I wish I could help more there. Jackson says, as the ex-president of Uruguay said, when you buy something, you're not paying money for it. You're paying with the hours of life you had to spend earning that money. Exactly the same in trading. Wow, that's really good, Jackson. That's really profound. It is true. Yeah, there is a time value of money. Anthony, good to see you, buddy. How's it going? I was thinking about you the other day. Hey, Greg, bad weather here today, so I am live. I have been keeping up with the podcast, clicking the thumbs up, and trading decently. Good. I'm glad the gang seems to be doing well. It's a good group. It certainly is. Thanks so much for saying hi, Anthony. Anthony's one of my prior students, and I'm always interested to see how my prior students are doing, and of course, all my prior students. I mean, if you have any questions, anything I can help you with, you guys can always reach me. Okay, happy to do that. Good to see you, Anthony. Joshua says, "Hey, Greg, happy Friday." Good to see you, Joshua, and happy Friday to you. Hi, Bing He. Good to see you, buddy. I replied to your email. I don't know if you saw that, but thank you for coming. Bing He is our friend from Singapore. Steve Burns says, TrendSpider has all the symbols. You can request the symbol be added to ETF replay. They add what I asked them to. Oh, fantastic. Oh, good to know, Steve, and good to know TrendSpider has all those symbols. Yeah, I'm hearing more and more great things about TrendSpider, so that's fantastic. So if you guys are interested in TrendSpider, check that out for sure, because I believe that's what Steve's using now and other people are using. I know Christopher Uhl's using that. Oh, thank you, Steve. So, Kurt, Steve says TrendSpider, or no, sorry, CMG backtest a positive 1340 on the 1050 cross. Aha. Steve, if you don't mind, how about the 10 or the 520 EMA cross? Is that backtest okay? All right. Well, I'll check back on the comments later there, but let's take a look at my current positions. So starting off, I did buy Etsy yesterday on the 21st of November. I bought it because we went under 30 RSI, over 30 RSI. That is that is a signal that I like to use for a deep dip buy. But in addition to the under 30, over 30, we have this V2. Here is day 1, here is day 2, here is day 3. Day 2 washes out or goes below day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1's close, and it is a higher low V1, which I really like. And just to quickly let you know, when you make a lower low, people that are fortunate enough to buy it down here, they're buying a real dip. A lot of times, after that first dip rises, the people that bought here, they're expecting it maybe to move up 2, 3, 4 days and then fail, and that's when they'll get out. So sellers are in control here. Buyers finally take control, move it up. People that bought this are looking for a bounce. They look for a bounce. When it starts to stall out or lose possibly the 50-day moving average, or it just starts to stall out, the people that bought here want to just lock in a quick profit. That causes a lot of times after that first dip and after that first rally, it causes a bit of a pullback. However, if a new group of buyers comes in, as they did here, and it's a higher low, then the people that bought here, that sold here, that made this go down, they are out of the equation. So now going up, you don't have to worry about these people selling because they bought here, they already sold here, and this allows for easier upside movement. And this is what I learned from Kerry Lavorne, and really does make sense. So that's why he likes to buy higher lows rather than lower lows. So we did have a higher low V2. We also went under 30, over 30. In addition to that, RSI had a positive crossover, right? So this is what I'm talking about when I say look for a confluence or a combination of signals. Signal number 1, under 30, over 30. Signal number 2, V2. Signal number 3, MACD crossover, right? And of course, I guess I could say signal number 4, it was a higher low V2, which is even more impressive. So anyway, has moved up nicely. You can see I almost hit my profit target. The high was 42.40 and my profit target was at 42.45. Always kind of frustrating when you almost get there and don't quite get there. But that kind of goes to show you how that 0.45 ATR does act as some kind of resistance. And that's why I use a 0.45 ATR from the previous day's close as far as my profit targets to the upside. But anyway, things are going fine. I'd like to see this move up more than 1 ATR for my entry. If it does, then I will institute a trailing stop. But until it gets there, I'm going to keep with my initial stop. My initial stop on this is a close below halfway of the washout bar. So anyway, up 1% today so far for my entry. So pretty good, pretty happy with that for sure. All right, world famous SPY trade. Here we go. I know you guys hear this every day, but listen, in case we have some new viewers today, I do want to let them know what I'm doing with this trade. But I do buy the SPY every day. At the end of the day, I sell it first thing the next morning. It has nothing to do with technicals, support or resistance, anything. It just has to do with a very long-term back-tested approach that back-tests positively. And this is from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. She's the chief investment officer at Charles Schwab. But with this backtest, they backtested two different approaches. Approach number one was buying the SPY each day at the open in the morning and selling it in the afternoon at the close each day. So buy at the open, sell at the close, buy at the open, sell at the close. If you would have used this approach every day since 1993, you'd have actually returned a negative 13.9% for all of your troubles. However, if you did the opposite and you bought the SPY at the close and then sold it the next morning, so buy at the close, sell the next morning, buy at the close, sell the next morning, which is what I do every day since 1993, you'd have actually returned a positive 634.2% return. So option number one, buy at the open, sell at the close since 1993, a negative 13.9%. Option number two, buy at the close, sell the next morning, every day since 1993, 634.2% return. So I certainly am going to use this approach, not that approach. So past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's true. That goes for any back-tested approach. Just because it's back-tested well in the past does not mean it's going to back-test well in the future. But it's an educated guess. I would rather allocate capital to something that does have a good track record than to something that does not. And I like this chart. It shows you if you have an edge and you let it play out over the long run, what this can look like, right? In between, you have ups and downs. Nothing goes in a straight line. It's very important to position size correctly, so that if and when, and you will get a drawdown, I promise you that your position size is not too large, so it doesn't affect you too much from a psychological standpoint, right? So I love this chart. Look at the blue, buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The orange, buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. Huge difference. I definitely like to allocate capital to this. I've been using this since February 26th of this year. It's been extremely profitable. I really do have to say. So with that being said, I did buy here yesterday at the close at 310.27. And I sold this morning right at the open, 311.06. So really nice overnight trade, right? And we've had some great trades. Look at this. Well, I should show you we've had some bad trades too. Buy at the open, sell at the close for a loss. Buy at the open, sell at the open for a gain. Buy at the open, sell at the close for a loss. Buy at the close, sell at the open for a loss. Buy at the close, sell. Nice gain, little loss. Nice gain, loss, little gain, and nice gain today. So I will be buying this at the end of the day and selling it first thing in the morning, Monday morning. So yeah, nice trade on that. All right, Twitter. So very similar to Etsy, I did buy Twitter yesterday here on the 21st of November. Here we have a higher low V2. Here is day one. Here is day two. Day two washes out day one. Day three closes above day one's close. We also went under 30, over 30, which is also good. MACD is positive. I do like this base that we had here, showing that it didn't want to go down anymore. The more base you have, the higher that you can go. So one more time, V2, day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1. In addition, and we went under 30, over 30, higher low V2. And one thing I do want to point out, I learned this from Steve Burns, but if you see price that's under a moving average for a long time, see how the price was under this 10-day forever, like 2 months worth or so. See how yesterday when we bought it, it finally closed above the 10-day. So it's showing that something has changed, right? I don't think I would buy this just based upon that it closed above the over the 10-day. I don't think I would buy it just based upon that, but in conjunction with under 30, over 30, higher low V2, MACD being positive, and the close over the 10-day, that is why I went ahead and bought this yesterday. So I did hit one profit target up here today at 330.10. So really grateful for that. So yeah, it's working out nicely. As soon as it moves more than one ATR away from my entry, I will institute a trailing stop. But as is right now, no trailing stop. My initial stop here is to close below the halfway of the washout bar. And as long as it continues to move up, I will continue to just phase out. My ultimate profit target up here is the third ATR. Which also happens to be the 50 RSI. Generally, my initial profit target is like the 50, and then I have an ultimate profit target above. But because this is so far above, and it dovetails, the 50 dovetails with the third ATR channel, happy to take that off. So from there to there, 6.68% possible upside. So anyway, it's looking really good, and grateful for this trade today. All right, XLU. So I did buy XLU back here on the 20th of November. We had this higher low V2. Here's day 1, here's day 2, here's day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1. On the day that it closed above 50, and it closed above all these moving averages here in the middle. I like that. Yesterday, my initial stop is close below the halfway of the washout bar. Yesterday, it got right there intraday, but closed above, so I kept it. Today, went all the way down, but it looks like it is going to close above the halfway of the washout bar, so that is good as well. And it's a higher low V2. So here we have a lower low. People that were fortunate enough to buy down here, maybe they bought down here at the third ATR channel, started moving up. They're very happy. They're looking to get out when there's some kind of weakness in the stock. I can imagine people had thought this was weak, a reversal bar here. And so next day it did go back down. So probably the people that bought here, they're holding it till something looks wrong, then they get out. But then it was retaken by a new group of buyers. And again, the people that bought here, they're hanging in. They probably got out on this bar and this bar. Then a new group of buyers came in. So the people that bought here sold here. So if we do go up, we don't have to worry about these sellers anymore because they sold in this area. So hope that makes sense. So anyway, is up today. Kind of a big range here, but again, it has not moved one ATR away from at least one ATR away from my entry. So I'm not instigating a trailing stop unless it goes above one ATR for my entry, or to the downside, if it closes below halfway of that initial bar, I will get out. And on top of that, we had a MACD crossover when this happened as well. So is that it? Oh, real quickly, I do have a current put position on, sold put, sold premium on McDonald's. When I sell premium, means that I'm choosing a price below the current price, and if the price stays above that by the end of the contract period, I'm able to keep all the premium. When I sell puts, I like to look for a strike price that has support on 3 different time frames, not just one. So on the monthly, that $180 price is right smack dab in the middle of the 1 ATR and the negative 1 ATR. So the midline. So that should add some hypothetical technical support here on the monthly. On the weekly, that $180 price lines up nicely just above the 100 week moving average and above right about the 30 RSI on the week. So that's good. And then on the daily, that $180 price lines up with about the 5th ATR channel. I would have liked it if it would have lined up better with the 6th ATR channel, because that's really hard to get prices to go below the negative 6 ATR channel or above the positive 6 ATR channel. But based upon the monthly, the midpoint on the monthly, the 100 week and the 30 RSI and the negative 5th ATR channel, I did go ahead. I can't remember. Oh, I did this back here. Yeah, I did it back on the 13th. So anyway, it's doing fine. It's profitable. As long as the price stays above 180 by December 13th, I'll be able to keep all the premium. And I got to tell you, when it comes to selling puts, you have to be very careful. You have to be very conservative. And one filter that I have is I never sell puts on anything but a huge, big stock that if for some reason I do have to buy that stock, I know that thing's not going to zero, right? Like a McDonald's or an Apple, something like that. So I've had a really good year selling puts. I don't do it often. I wait for volatility because you get more premium. But anyway, I did want to share that with you. So it's doing fine. Okay, Jackson says definitely have to jump on TrendSpider. Good. Oh, Steve. Oh, thank you, Steve, for doing that. Appreciate that very much, for giving Kurt the back test. So that looks pretty good. TrendSpider shows the drawdown visually. They don't give a number. Okay. Jesse says, hey, Steve Burns, just curious. Parameters for your back test. I got 403% for 520 and 1657 for buy and hold. I used 7,000 candles and exit of cross back under. Just wanted to be sure doing it right. Okay. So, all right. I'm not familiar with TrendSpider, so I can't help out there, but maybe Steve will. Jesse says daily time frame. Hey, Jess, and hello, Greg and gang. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Any trades you're in right now, Jess? Jackson says you just started using TrendSpider. Yeah, yes, Jesse. Jesse, yep. MJ, a few days ago, the back test is awesome. You can save parameters, run back test on each ticker as you go through watch list. Then you can tie the alert to any ticker if it meets a condition. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. All right, everybody. So listen, this is the time of the day where I like to talk about trader psychology, the importance of being disciplined. There are some really good Twitter channels out there that post every day, just invaluable sayings, good words of wisdom about trading in general, and or trading psychology. And so I like to go through Twitter. I like to take a look, see if something jumps out at me, something that I think would be helpful, for our group here on the channel. And one of the very best Twitter channels out there for that is Lone Stock Trader. As his name says, he is a lone stock trader, and he really puts out good information. So it's and if you haven't subscribed to him, it's Lone Stock Trader at Lone Stock Trader on Twitter. But here he talks about self-mastery, and that is the key word in trading. I mean, when you distill it down, everybody, self-mastery is what it's all about. So feeling FOMO, or fear of missing out, but not acting on it, right? We're all going to feel it. I felt it last week when the market was going up and I was very light in the positions. Like, I was like, oh man, this sucks, right? The market's going up. I don't have any positions. But so I felt it. It's okay to feel it. It's just not okay to act on it. And if we look back in time, was it the correct policy? Yeah. We would have bought at the highs, right? So it's okay to feel FOMO, but not to act on it. Wait for your setup, wait for your risk to reward. Don't just let, FOMO, fear of missing out, is an emotion. So don't let emotions rule the day. Let your plan rule the day. Feeling pain as a mental stop gets hit by cutting the position anyway. A lot of people put mental stops in. They say when it gets down there, I'm going to sell. But how many people, when it gets down there, do sell? Really? You've been there. I'm sure somebody in this group has been there where they've had a mental stop instead of a hard stop in their system. And it gets down there and they're like, I'll just give it a couple more days, maybe. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. I have. And I mean, I would have done anything in the, as time went on and that trade went against me, I would have done anything to go, oh, I wish I would have taken the stop when I was supposed to, right? So you're going to feel pain. You're going to feel regret when it gets down there, but please follow your plan. Feeling fear as positions get extended, but not selling till our plan tells us to. All right. Can anybody relate to that? I certainly can. That's probably my biggest challenge in trading that I work on, right? And that's why I phase out, because it helps me do that. But yes, of course, as it gets extended, it's going to feel so good to hit that sell button, lock in that money, ring the cash register, right? But if your system doesn't tell you to do it, then don't do it. I mean, how many times have you seen something go up 10%, but when it was up 3.5%, you just really wanted to sell, right? And then it just kept moving on up, right? So feeling fear as positions get extended, but not selling till our plan tells us to. Again, back to following the plan. Feeling euphoria after a big profit, but not becoming overconfident. This is a huge one that's not talked about enough, in my opinion. We know when things go down, you feel really depressed and you feel desperate. Maybe you want to double up, triple up, but it also happens to the upside. When it goes up, you get very euphoric and you start feeling bulletproof. Maybe you're not positioning size correctly. You feel like, invincible, right? But it's okay to feel the euphoria, but just don't become overconfident. So feeling FOMO, but not acting on it. It's going to happen, but don't act on it. Feel the mental pain by cutting the position anyway. You are going to feel the pain, but cut that position. Feeling fear as it gets extended, but not selling. It's okay to feel the fear, but don't sell if your plan doesn't call for it. And feeling euphoric after a big profit, of course, we're all going to feel that, but not becoming overconfident. So thank you so much, lone stock trader. Appreciate that. Really great words of wisdom, though. So thanks a lot. And I hope that was helpful for everyone. All right. Oh, I'm running a little long here. All right. I'm going to get started. We'll whip through these, see if anything jumps out at us. When I studied one-on-one Dr. Elder, he said, Greg, unless something jumps off the screen at you, like really jumps off and grabs your face, it's probably not that great of a setup if you have to sit there and kind of try to make it all work. So good advice, especially from somebody, caliber of Dr. Elder. Apple, okay. Well, we've been waiting for a pullback into value. It's getting close, right? It's not there yet, but it's getting close. So if we can get pullback into value, V1, V2 here, that would be most likely next trade, but not there yet. Adobe, starting to run out of some momentum. You can see as we go higher, MACD is going lower. Same with Apple. I need to pull back into the value zone. That's what I would be looking for. So I need a dip. Advanced micro devices, again, the FOMO, but they do come back, right? So I would like to see advanced micro devices come back into the value zone. Look for some sidewards movement. Look for a V1, V2. But I mean, can you imagine if you bought up here right now, or a few days ago, right at the very top, and you're down 6% on the trade? Ugh. Remember, things get overvalued, then they come back into value. Things get undervalued, they come back into value. Buy in value or buy undervalued. Don't buy overvalued. Amazon, up a little bit today. I am looking for Amazon. I'm looking for down here, about 1685. Where it would be a 30 RSI. That would be excellent. Also lines up with this previous support back here back in October. So nothing yet on Amazon unless it goes lower or higher. Lower down to the 30 RSI would be fantastic, or higher if we had a higher low V1, V2, or a 550 crossover, also back test well. Boeing hanging out, does have support at the 200-day moving average, just too high for me here. I need a pullback. Berkshire Hathaway, again, we talked about this when it was up here. We need a pullback into value. We are back into value now, but just because we're into value doesn't mean we can buy yet. Step one, we come into value. Step two, we get a couple days sideways movement to show the selling has stopped. We've done that. It qualifies for that. Now we need a stab down and immediate reversal with the V1 or V2. But I would imagine this dip is going to get bought. I mean, it's just my opinion, doesn't mean it's true, but I would imagine this first dip into the value zone is going to get bought. So looking for a V1 or a V2. Caterpillar, so I missed this trade yesterday. I was looking for this. It was above the value zone, came into the value zone, couple days sideways movement, stab down, reverse. I just missed this trade at the end of the day because I was concentrating on a couple other stocks. V2, here's day one, day two, day three. Day two washes out day one, day three closes above day one. So that was a trigger. I did miss it. I don't like to buy after I missed a trigger. So it is up today. Looks like it would have been the right approach. Stop would have been a halfway of the washout bar, but I'm not going to buy this. I don't like to buy after I miss a trade. It's just a personal thing. Dow Jones, nice rally up, rejected the third ATR channel, looking for a pullback. Walt Disney, strong day today, much too high, need a pullback into the value zone. Value zone's the green line on top, the green line on the bottom, the positive 1 ATR, negative 1 ATR. I consider the value zone inside, in between these two lines. All right, Etsy, we talked about Etsy. We do have Etsy. It's doing okay for us so far. We bought it yesterday. Ford, nothing quite there. Looks range bound. Facebook up a little today, failing to move up higher. I need to pull back into value to buy a dip. 5 below. Nothing quite on 5 below. We closed under the 1 ATR channel, moved into the value zone. Excuse me. We were under the value zone, into the value zone. Now I'm looking for a couple days down with a higher low V1. Gold could definitely be setting up for a higher low V1. We closed below the value zone, into the value zone. We've had a couple days down. Now if we could, in the coming days, we could get a V1 or a V2 higher low, that would be excellent. That was gold miners. This is gold right here. I like gold miners chart better because we moved higher into the value zone, where gold has kind of only one day in the value zone. But again, a higher low V1 or V2 that closed in the value zone would be fine. Google, this is what we were looking for. We were looking for a pullback into value and a couple days sideways movement. So I'm looking for that coming days, a V1 or a V2. It's exactly what we want. We just need a trigger. Goldman Sachs pulled back into the value zone, which is good. No trigger here, no V1 or V2. Home Depot. So we've been watching Home Depot quite a bit. If we close over the 30 RSI today, intraday we're under 30. If we closed over the 30, I would consider taking this trade. I do want to point out quickly, though, this is something I've noticed. This is on the weekly. See how big the bar is? Whenever you have a bar that is larger than 1 ATR that comes from above the 1 ATR channel into the channel, it usually at least will go down to the bottom of the channel. Conversely, if you have a big bar larger than 1 ATR that comes from below the channel and above the channel, that usually hits the first ATR, right? So this is a bigger channel that comes above into the channel, big, very likely we're going to go and hit that bottom channel. I mean, let me see if I can give you some more examples. Here's a big bar, comes into the channel. It did eventually get to that bottom channel. Here's a big bar, larger than 1 ATR, that went from below the channel into the channel. It did hit the positive 1 ATR channel. Big bar that comes into the channel did eventually hit the 1 ATR channel. big bar, larger than 1 ATR that comes into the channel, did eventually hit the 1. So I'm not saying it happens every time, but it happens more often than not. So that is a little concerning to me because it's very likely we are going to hit this. But if this does close above 30 today, I am going to buy it anyway because that's the signal. So I'll be watching Home Depot. IBB is just on a monster tear. Unbelievable. I can't do anything here. I need to pull back into value. Intel, larger than 1 ATR into the channel. I would not be surprised at all if we go down here, but nothing there today. Russell 2000, moving sideways here. Look for a V1 or a V2. Johnson & Johnson, you knew it was going to be up, Jackson, right? Took this trade here, scaled out, came all the way back down to my entry. I got out. I didn't want to let it the gain turn into a loss. And then this. So brutal. Thing is, this trade, there's nothing to get out from. We just kept going up, kept going up, kept going up. I think it probably rejected the 70 today, so very likely if I would have held on to this trade. But anyway, that's what happens sometimes. Coca-Cola made a lower low into the value zone. If we could get a couple days down here, we'd have a nice V1, V2, which would be interesting. Oh, just give me a second there. Lockheed Martin's had a nice rally up. Need to pull back into value, so just need to be patient. MasterCard. You know, this is a good example. This used to be previous resistance, and we broke above. So if you can break above previous resistance, very likely to hold. And you can see it did hold today, right? This was previous resistance. We broke above it. Now this previous resistance is acting as support. We went under it earlier, but back over, but still too high. Need to pull back into value. McDonald's, nothing there. Altria, all over the place up here. Nothing there. Need to pull back into value. Merck, nothing there. Microsoft, sorry to be a broken record, but we need to pull back into value here as well. Netflix, doing really well. Very strong rally, right? Very strong. I actually took the trade here with the 520 crossover, scaled out, scaled out, scaled out. I did get out here though when we had this bearish reversal bar and we rejected this previous high. Obviously I wish I would have held it, but I did miss out on this. So if you would have taken this trade completely mechanically with the 5 crossing over the 20, you would still be in this trade. But if you follow this mechanically, you're going to have to wait for the 10 to close back below the 20, which might be much, much lower. We don't know. Nike, really nothing there. Philip Morris above the channel, back into the channel. Big bars though, big range bars. Need some sideways movement here before I can do anything with Philip Morris. PayPal, very weak today. Tell you one thing though, see this low, see the depth of the red bars, the MACD, then we have a nice rally, nice green bars. I would be very interested if PayPal gets down here equal to or lower than this low, because we will have a positive MACD divergence. And you know, Dr. Alexander Elder believes that's one of, well, he believes it is the most powerful technical approach to trading double bottoms with bullish divergences. And so I know they're good. I don't know if they're the best, but I know they're good. So I definitely would be looking for a test of this previous bottom at the same time we have a positive, a bullish MACD divergence. Qs was overextended, overextended, overextended. At least we are coming back into value, looking for a sidewards movement. Silver, nothing on silver. I look for the 5 EMA to cross over the 20, or a bounce or close under 30, over 30, near the 30 ATR channel, which would be good too. But it's not quite ready. Still needs to stay in the oven. S&P. You know, I've noticed lately we've had open, close below the open. Yesterday, it opened higher, closed lower. Today, it's opened higher, and looks very likely that it might close lower. This is generally, in my opinion, kind of a bearish sign. I'm not saying the market's falling or anything, but if you see something open lower and close higher, open lower, close higher, open lower, close higher, that is positive. But when you see things consistently opening higher, closing lower, opening higher, closing lower, opening higher, closing lower, that could be of a bit of an omen for possibly some weakness in the market. SSO, need to pull back into value. TLT, very, very strong. Need to pull back into value as well. Look at Tesla, down 6% today. My gosh. I mean, look at this huge run up. And this took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It took out like 18 days of gains in one day, right? And that's what we've been discussing. Market takes the elevators up and the stairs up and the elevators down. That's why I really do like to lock in profits as it goes up here. But anyway, big move down there. Not sure what's going on. Twitter, of course, we did hit one profit target. Has moved down since then. So that looks good so far. UNH, very strong. Need to pull back into value. Oil, have not seen Murat lately. I know we had a big trade on, I think, on oil. So anyway, I hope it went his way. I'm not sure, but hopefully. VIX, I would buy VIX if we could get a close back over the 30 RSI. Looks like it's closing on its low today. If we got down and tested this previous low, that would also be a double bottom with the divergence. You have red, you have green. If we get down here, we would not even have any red. That would be that would still be considered a double bottom with the divergence. MACD is positive, interestingly enough. Verizon, nothing there. Walmart, we had that big move up. We're just hanging down here in this consolidation. Bars are moving sideways. I imagine we'll have some kind of big move one way or the other. Just don't know which direction and when. Energy, we closed below the value zone, in the value zone. If we could get a couple days down in a higher low V1, that would be good. Financials, still too high. Need to pull back into the value zone here. Real estate down today. I did buy real estate here, under 30, over 30, V2. Nice sideways movement before. Was a nice trade for us. We scaled out on the way up. I did get out yesterday when we had to close below the previous day's low. Still locked in a gain on the trade, but good thing we got out because it is down further even today. XLU we still have. We bought the higher low V2. Initial stop is a close below halfway of this bar, so it looks like it's going to close above, so it looks like it's keeper. And healthcare just too strong. So honestly, guys, the only thing that I see today is possibly Home Depot if it closes above the 30 RSI, and right now it is below. Okay. What do we have? 4 minutes left. All right. All right, let me take a look and see if anybody has any symbols they would like me to look at. Jesse says, hey, Greg, missed the bounce on PDD today. It just missed closing over 30 yesterday. Watching Cisco, GM, UA, Triple M, and took Twitter. Okay, good. So you just missed PDD. Oh, I remember you had me look at that. Yeah, it didn't quite close over the 30, did it? And then it did. Oh my gosh, it's up 7% today. Holy smokes, bummer. Bummer, dude. But anyway, that's how it goes. Watching Cisco. Yep, it's getting down there close. GM. Oh boy. Yep. Looking for that deep dip buy. UA. V2 there today. Bounce off the third ATR channel, but is a lower low. And 3M. Okay. And you took Twitter. Good to hear that. Anthony says, on the exchange, we used to say the market eats like a bird and SHITS like an elephant. That is true. Stairs up, elevator down, right? All right. So let's check current positions. Etsy looks fine. SPY, going to buy that at the end of the day. Twitter, one profit target, doing fine. XLU still hanging in there off of its high. And Evan says, what do you think of M today? What did we get to? 38.30 yesterday. Look, I think this may have another day or two follow through here, Evan, but my guess, it didn't go under 30 and over 30. My guess this might have a day or two up. I don't think I'd buy it here. I think I would wait for the first pullback and try to buy that higher low. I think that's what I would do. Because the people that were lucky enough to buy this dip here, it's already moved nicely. They're probably going to have their fingers on the trigger to sell, and that would cause the price to go down. I would look for a higher low V1 or a V2. Let's see what Home Depot is doing. Doesn't look like it's quite over 30, does it? So I'm going to queue that up just in case. We have 1 minute. So I'm just watching Home Depot here to see if we're going to close over 30. This is going to be right on the bubble, though. Doesn't look like it's going to close over. That's it. So, no new positions today. And we did buy SPY at 310.96. So that's that. So no new entries today. So we still have Etsy higher low V2 under 30 over 30.
Market data connection lost.
Did not hit a profit target, but is up so far. So that's great. Spider, of course, we just bought. I just bought at the end of the day. I'll sell that first thing Monday morning. Twitter had a nice day today. Did hit one profit target. And XLU off of its high, but still staying here, right? Didn't close below the washout bar of the initial stop, which is halfway of the washout bar. So all in all, nice positive day today. Very grateful for that. And Evan says he didn't like anything that he saw today either. Yeah, didn't really see anything. So listen, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Just type them in the chat. If you have any, it doesn't even have to be a symbol or, just any kind of question on trading. If you need help with anything, if you have any challenges with anything, just don't be shy. Type it in. I'm happy to answer. But before I do that, I just want to mention quickly that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. It's a one-on-one program. I have 5 sessions, 2 hours. Sometimes they go 2.5, sometimes they go 3. But I'll teach you everything that I've learned over the last 24 years as being a full-time trader. Teach you everything that I've learned from my teachers and my mentors. It's a pretty intense course. There's a lot of back and forth. Kind of the format is, after we say hello, I teach you the lesson. Then I have you teach it back to me. We go through a lot of charts. We do a lot of chart studies, and I make you break down the charts for me. How does this look? What are the positives? What are the negatives? What is the, what's the support? What's the resistance? Where would you put your profit targets? Where would you put your stop? Where would you, how are you going to use your trailing stop, right? So when you are taught something, but then you have to teach it back to the teacher, that's really when you learn it on a deeper level. So I hope what I'm doing here on the live stream is helpful, but I can tell you that, the one-on-one course is much more intense, and, you do a lot of the talking and a lot of the breaking down of the charts. But I think my students have all enjoyed the courses and are better traders for it since or before they took the course. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me. My email is in the description of this video. Also, the course of the cost, it's $1,000. Sounds like a lot, but I do believe you get a lot of value for that $1,000, and I know for a fact you're going to be a better trader when you're done with the course. So just think of it as an investment in yourself, and I think you will be happy that you did it. If you're interested, what I like to start out with is just an initial Skype call. Doesn't mean you have to take the course, but I do like to just kind of have a sit down one-on-one with you on Skype. So we can get to know each other a little bit better. I like to know about your trading, what your challenges are, what your goals are. And then, if you decide to take the course after the Skype call, then I will put together the course and, design it around how much you want to trade, your risk tolerance, so forth, things like that. So, again, if you're interested, you can reach out to me on my email, which is in the description of this video, and on Twitter. You can send me a message there. And then lastly, if you like this live stream, if you like the podcast, if you like the content, if you feel it's helping you, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It does help promote the channel, helps build the channel. And there's really a ton of people out there that need help with their trading. There really, really is. And so, if you hit the thumbs up button, it helps promote the channel out there and get more people here. And that's why I have this channel, because I want to help people, right? So if you could do that, I would really, really appreciate it. So, all right, end of my plug. Gamer Squad, hey buddy, good to see you. Gamer says, I got out of EA today. I bought it before yesterday. You bought it before yesterday, and I sold it since it could not close above the previous high, as you mentioned yesterday. All right, let's take a look. Yeah. Yep. So back here was the resistance. Dun, dun, dun. We did gap up, close lower, which is never good, gapping up and closing below the open. It did close above yesterday's close, but yeah, I mean, you're definitely seeing some kind of resistance here. You have a bearish price action here with this bar. So you bought it here on this V1, moved up, moved up. Excellent trade, Gamer. Really great. Of course, it might go higher. We don't know. But I like your thinking. I like your thinking. We rejected the 1 ATR channel. We rejected these previous highs. We do have a bearish MACD double top. See we have this high. See how high these bars are. See we have a higher high. See how this bar is not as high as this bar. Wouldn't qualify as a legitimate double top with the bearish divergence, because these bars should be no more than half of these lengths. So this is a little higher than half, but you know, it is somewhat telling. So excellent, gamer. Very good. Evan says, I'm still in SDC, but after the last couple days, I feel like I'm more likely to end up closing before I get to any profit targets. Let's take a look. Well, on the positive, it hasn't gone down. On the negative, it hasn't gone up, but this V1 is still intact. I mean, we have not come down here, tested the halfway of this bar, or tested the 30 RSI. You know, it's really neutral here. So, you know, these small bars, tight range, they are going to move one way or the other. But Evan, do you have your plan in place to the downside? Jesse says, I had looked at EA but passed. Nice work, gamer. Yeah, really good work, gamer. I mean, good analysis of the rejection of those highs. Look at this, guys. Virgin Galactic. My goodness. Look at the volume. I don't know why this stock did this, but my gosh. You know, in the last 3 weeks, it's down 26%. Not even 3 weeks. Unbelievable. Okay, good. I'll tell you what, guys, the most important thing, if I could tell anyone advice, the most important thing would be to have a plan to the downside. It's important to have a plan to the upside too, for sure. But if you had to choose what's more important, plan to the downside, because it's always, you know, we're risk managers. That's what we do. We have to plan for the downside first. We need to manage and protect capital first, and profit is secondary. So, you know, you have the plan, but stick to that plan, Evan. Oh, and Evan says, and I won't deviate, but I have a bad feeling. Okay. Now, maybe your feeling's right, maybe your feeling's wrong, but you have a plan to override all of that, right, Evan? Jesse says, how about Cybertruck getting absolutely roasted on Twitter? Oh, that's Tesla, right, Jess? Let me take a look real quick. Hey, Dr. Long, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming. Hi, Greg and all. Bought my Google back all the way. $12.95, $12.92 and a half. Sold some next at 105. All right, let's look at Google. So does that mean, Dr. Long, you sold your Google up here and now you bought it back down here? I think that's what you mean. And next, look at this. Fantastic. Sold some next at 105.11. So looks like, oh, you almost got the top. Golly, you know what? Actually, guys, this is a good, really good example here to look at. We went over the value zone. We came back into the value zone. We went sideways. We had this V1. That would have been a legitimate entry there. But then yesterday, it closed below halfway the washout bar. That would have been the loss. But if you are above the value zone, come into the value zone, then you make a lower high. See how this high is lower than this high? Then you have to wash out that first dip, which we did yesterday. So this would have been a legitimate entry here. This would have been another legitimate entry, V2 in the value zone. MACD just went positive too. So that's good, but nice trade. Okay. All right, so Steve gave some information to Kurt on the on CMG. Kurt, did you take Chipotle today based upon that crossover? So it did have the 520 cross in the value zone. Let's see here. Jackson said he's going to check out TrendSpider. That's awesome. It's too bad, Jess, on that PDD, huh? But sometimes that happens. You know, you don't quite get the signal and then it goes tearing off. But oh well, what do you do? Concentrate on the positive. You know, there's an old saying, the bus comes around every hour. There'll be trades that come around every hour. Dr. Long said, I bought 1371 puts for $8, sold 1277 put for $2. All right, bought 1317 puts for $8. Sold 1277 put for $2. Good, Dr. Long. Bing He says, Greg, I was looking at KN for 15th November setup, but it didn't work out. I didn't take the trade. November 15th. Honestly, Bing He, I would have taken it here on the 14th. You move down into value, you stop going down. You have a couple days sideways, then you have the V1 here. Did move up nicely, but you would have gotten stopped out here with the close below halfway of the market. Probably would have taken some profits if you phase out. But yeah, this is one that just didn't work out. So at this point, with the close below the 1 ATR channel, I would be looking for a rally back in, which we did, and then a higher low V1, V2. Or if it heads down, look for a deep dip buy down here at the 30 RSI. Dr. Long said, put expired today, so effective short from 1311. Awesome. Yes, it's underneath, so that's good. Sorry, November 14th setup. Okay, good. So we're on the same page. Awesome. All right. Jackson says, Greg, one of my many gems since our teaching is I always look at the for and against for any given stock as opposed to having the confirmation bias of it's going my way. And if I'm wrong small. Excellent. I'm glad you took that away from our lessons. But yeah, I mean, you have to look at the pros and cons of anything, right? Looking at the risk to reward. If you're wrong, you're going to be wrong a lot, but let's be wrong small when you are. Frank says, hello, Greg and all. Roses are red, violets are blue, stocks are cold-blooded entities that have absolutely no feelings for you. That is so true, Frank. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Thank you. That's great. Ving He says, when a setup didn't work out, do you try to find any reason? Yeah, you know, that's a really good point. Let me take a look back here. Like, let's look at KN. Yeah, I mean, when I have a losing trade, I always look at it, I review it, and I try to pick out within reason, you know, was I impulsive on this? Usually when I look at a V1 or a V2 that doesn't work out, I look at, did we have enough days sidewards? And I believe on this trade you did. Did you have enough of a washout bar? And this washed out this, you know, the minimum requirement is we need a quarter of a washout bar. Did wash out, did close above. I don't see anything wrong with that trade whatsoever. But sometimes I might look at a trade that and go, you know what, maybe it gapped a little bit too much on a V2. Maybe it didn't move sideways enough. Generally, that's what I'll see if some of my return to value trades, V1, V2 trades don't work out. Yeah, I try to find a reason. And if I look at something and go, oh, that bar really was larger than one ATR, you know, then yeah. But try to be objective and make sure all that stuff looks good before you take the trade. But you know, there's an old saying, if you have a loss on your trade, try to gain something from it because you already paid for that loss. So yes, it's important to look at losing trades and see if you can identify maybe where you were not as precise or selective as you should have been. Thanks for mentioning that, Bing He. That's good advice. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments or anything they'd like to add to the group? Jackson says, haha, Frank. I can see Friday's fast becoming humorous market sayings day. I think we could bring Yoda in also for some more wisdom. Jesse says, have a great weekend, everyone. Got to run. Okay, Jess, thanks for coming by, sir. Be safe out there, huh? And have a good weekend, buddy. All right, so yeah, it was a good day. Thankful for that. Always thankful for a good day when we have it, right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, all of our trades worked out today. All right, well, I'm going to start saying goodbye to everybody. If you have anything, any other comments, please let me know. But Jesse, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming by. Jackson, thank you. Hope you have a nice Saturday in Australia. Bing He, hope you have a good day in Singapore. Thank you for coming as always. Thanks for that, Frank. Nice having you here, and that was great saying. Dr. Long, congratulations on your puts on Google. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming by. Evan, good to see you. Glad that you have that plan there on that stock, and make sure you follow it, right? I know you will. Gamer Squad, thanks for coming by. Nice read on EA. That's awesome. Anthony, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for your fun saying, and stay in touch, all right? If there's anything I can help you with, you just please let me know. Steve Burns, always an honor to have you here, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for helping Kurt out with the information on that Chipotle crossover. And thanks again for having me in your list on Twitter today. And I hope you have a good weekend. Say hello to Holly and the dogs. And always great to have you here. Thanks for everything you do. And Kurt, good to see you. Anything I can help you with, you let me know as well. And have a good weekend. Be safe, okay? Joshua Kaufman, great to see you. Thank you for coming by. If there's anything I can help you with, you let me know as well. Christopher Hitchin, thanks for coming by. Nice to have you here. Marco, great to see you. Hope you have a good evening and you have a good Saturday tomorrow. Let's take a look here. Having a good Saturday in Sylvania. Yep. And if there's anything I can help you with, man, just let me know. I appreciate you being here every day. And Jackson, of course, great to see my friend Jackson. Anything I can help you with, buddy, you let me know. And we have a Skype call that we need to do, kind of a brush up call, right? So you let me know when that works. And Evan, good to see you, bud. All right. Okay, Kurt. So Kurt did take CMG right here, probably right at the close, right about there. So we can watch that one for Kurt. Awesome. Crossover happened to the value zone. I like that. You guys know I don't like to take crossovers when they're really extended. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it. You have a good weekend. Thanks, Dr. Long. Yeah, no rush at all, Jax. Just want to make sure that you knew I was available since we talked about it. So yeah, you take care of what you need to with your moving and all that stuff, and then we will get it done. Evan says, how much snow did you get? You know, it was snowing yesterday, but by the time I got out of my hike, or later in the afternoon, it had melted. But there is still snow in the mountains, but we just got a dusting of snow. But you notice it, right, when it's the first snow of the year. But probably up in the mountains, probably a few inches, I would imagine. And just the dusting down here, but it's gone now. But it's turned cold, I'll tell you that. And I live here in Utah, so it's getting to be that time of year. All right, everybody. Well, it looks like that's it. So thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you spending your time, investing your time. And hope you have a nice weekend, safe weekend, fun weekend. Do some chart study while you're at it. And always, most important, please go out, do something nice for somebody today. Really might have a huge effect on their day. Really might turn it around. They might go ahead and be nice to somebody else and all that kind of stuff. You know how it works, right? And it's good for you. And the world needs more of this. So thank you all for coming. Appreciate it so much. And hopefully we'll see you Monday, right? During the last hour of the market. So thanks again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.